Yeah.
Woo! Legends League Weekly, week number 3. Kyle Simmons, Gino Benetti. Uh, Trevor couldn't make it
What
today, but
up?
he did send me his picks, though. He sent me his picks, so we'll make sure we get those in. So we're just gonna get right to it, man. Where should we start? I guess we should start with last week. Hell, Stay Strapped, and the Cornells and Trenchtown, they all won last week to move on to 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom, we got Tennessee, Shelby, Rochester, and Inkster all lost, so they all moved to 0-2. And then you got a bunch of teams lumped up at 1-1, led by the Roots at in the 5th spot at 1-1. Um, yeah, so that's all I got to say about last week. It was an interesting week. Me and you came really
A
close.
lot of injuries.
Oh, yeah, I guess injuries was the big thing that happened last week for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you name them, they got hurt. Which brings us right into the waiver wire. Really, um, I was wondering how much Trevor was going to spend on Jerome Ford. I thought he was going to put the whole thing up.
I
97.
thought he was going to have to.
Yeah, he had to. Yeah, he absolutely had to. The funny part is, I had a bid in for Jerome Ford that was higher than what Trevor paid for him. And I woke up in the middle of the night last night. One of my kids woke up and I was up and I couldn't go back to sleep. And it was close to 2 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let it ride. I said, I'm gonna let the curse do its thing. I'm believing the curse right now. So,
Mm.
so I wake up today and then I see Cleveland signs Kareem Hunt. And I said, see, this is
Yep.
exactly why I didn't do it, because I would have been pissed off to read that news. You know, I said, yep,
Yeah.
the curse
I
is.
definitely had that feeling too. So like I I feel, especially with Montgomery banged up, like, and when we did the week one show or after the draft show, I thought my running backs were not the greatest, and it's kind of playing out like that too. So I'm going to still ride it. So I'm like, I need immediate help, but I also felt like it was going to turn into a committee really quickly. And and seeing Hunt went for 20, uh, you know, Houston, Trevor, spade 36. I think he went crazy for Puka too. So I mean, he's definitely spending his fab, but he's also been hit with the injuries pretty
Mhm.
hard with Rogers and Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson's a 2-year keeper,
Yeah.
so there's rumors on who the Jets might be kind of going after, who they might be trading for. But props to Houston for getting hit with these injuries and still remaining 2-0.
Yeah.
But you gotta
We
you
lost you
gotta
on
think,
the
when is
video.
that bubble gonna burst?
We lost you on the video. I don't know.
Hold on.
There you go.
You got me?
Yeah, you're there. You're back.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. So let me know. Let me know if I go in and out. These are radioactive sunflowers next to me. So
Yeah, but yeah, he spent all the money up on 2 players. So we're gonna see, man, what
hmm
you gotta do. I literally I canceled the claim at like 2 in the morning, like maybe like an hour before they go through. So I was like, no, I think the curse is gonna just do its thing to Trevor at some point. So yeah.
like I thought it'd be more than 36. Honestly, I thought
Yeah,
it'd be in like the 40s or 50s. And then I had once they released the bids, you'll see that I had a bid on for Ford. I had a bid out for Hunt as well. And then I was kind of happy with the two that went through for me. I was
yeah,
like,
I
all right,
really like the Reynolds.
I
So
can
I
kind
was
of roll
looking
with
at
that.
Reynolds
So,
too, man. I was looking at him and I'm like,
mhm.
man, this is the guy people really should go after right here. He'd probably just sneak by for a few bucks. And I was like, I don't have anybody I wanted to. That's the problem. You got to drop somebody to pick someone one up, and I'm like, man, do I really want to drop anybody just yet? I don't, So I was like, I'm just gonna let it ride. But I think that was a good pickup though, getting him. That was a nice move. I like that one.
Yeah, I mean, especially if St. Brown, like I've heard mixed things that he may miss a week, Montgomery may miss some time. So it's like, those targets, those touches got to go somewhere.
Mhm.
And I think Gibbs and I think Reynolds. I picked him up in another league last week, and he started him. He did awesome for me. So
Mhm.
not sure about Watson. I mean, I gotta, we got short benches in this league, so it's like you gotta kind of plug and play and figure it out. And we'll see if he keeps performing. I don't know how Jameson's gonna really take that role away because he hasn't proven anything whatsoever in the league yet. So it's just a roll of the dice and try to get lucky. I got lucky on Nico, like that dude. Um, one. I think he single handedly probably won me my week last week. I know everyone picked against me, and rightfully so. I didn't think I was going to win either. Um, but then my team, I'm pretty happy. Like Patrick Mahomes hasn't performed, top three quarterback in the league yet, and I'm still barely lost the first week. It was Dallas's defense putting up fucking 50 points. And then, I came back last week. So we'll see if we can keep it going. If I can get Watson on the field and he can do anything, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. Can always fine tune some stuff. So we'll see. I don't like my running backs.
Yeah. Well,
So I might be in the running back market for anyone out there listening.
yeah, I'm just gonna hold pat. I definitely didn't like losing Saquon. I thought it was gonna be a little worse. And I was like, all right, he'd probably be out of, 2, 3 weeks. I can probably weather that. But I really don't like this matchup I got coming up here with Trenchtown. But they're going down. Hey, what else you expect me to say here? So I guess that's the segue into the matchups for the week. Um, yeah, so on deck we got Cairo versus Trenchtown. Um, I'll see what Trevor. We just get Trevor's in right now. Trevor said he's taking
Real
Cairo.
quick, while you're pulling that up, I just want to, Dearborn drafted Hunt and then dropped him because
Dropped
I
him.
knew they thought that he was going to be signed already, and now they go for 20, and I think Dearborn could have used that. So I mean, it's just interesting. Like it's a fine line to hold on to players that aren't performing, and then all of a sudden they hit, and then someone else gets them. It's like another little sting. It happens to everyone, and it
Yeah.
sucks.
Mhm. But yeah, like I said, Trevor's taking Dearborn. So who do you got? Who you got in this matchup?
Oh, is that Dearborn in Vegas?
I mean, no, Cairo and Trenchtown.
Oh, let me take a look at that real quick. See those dirty, stinking Cairo Cobras.
Yeah, we're gonna
Uh,
see.
uh, I mean, it's really interesting because Lamar's kind of iffy, Eckler's kind of iffy on the other end. Um, two good defenses. I'm a big Herbert fan. I think he's going to do awesome this year. I'm probably because I think he has a better bench in case Eckler doesn't go. I think Kelly can kind of lean in on that. Not sure about Pittman and Gardner Minshew if AR-15 doesn't get you know cleared with concussion protocol. I'm going to lean towards the Trenchtown Savage on this one.
Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. Um, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
really, man, for me, I actually do like Pittman this week. I think he's just gonna get the ball regardless who the quarterback is. He's getting 10 targets anyway. It don't even really matter. So if it's Minshew, 10 targets. Richardson, 13 targets. Laporta though, Laporta has been the nice little guy for me at tight end because tight
Mm-hmm.
end always sucks in this league. It's only like you either got a tight end or you're streaming every week. So I'm glad that Laporta has been able to be in a lineup for me. We'll see about Kendra Miller. I figured that's going to honestly probably going to be the difference. I'm just saying if everybody plays, that's questionable. If everybody plays as is, I think Miller for me might be the difference. I mean, I think he's going to get the workload because Williams is not playing and Kamara's out another week. So hopefully he
Yeah,
gets
this
more
is.
than
I mean,
7 points, but
yeah, I mean, if everyone plays as is, I mean, I definitely. I think Jackson, he has Andrews, so I mean, they kind of cancel each other out. So that's a big win for you. JSN, I saw a stat that he has one of the lowest air yards in the league at like 2 yards per
2 yards.
catch.
Yeah.
That can't stay as is. And if DeAndre Swift does what he did last week, it's going to be hard beating them in general, because I think the Chargers found what they need to do. They started week one. They ran too much and lost. And then you look at, they were in it and they let Herbert cook. And, I think that's what they want to do. That's what offensive coordinator Moore did in Dallas. I think that's what they're kind of going to lean towards from here on out. So it's going to be a close one. I mean, like I said, the projected points is only four-point difference. So it's going to come down to just a couple things here and there. But I'm going to lean towards Trenchtown.
All right. Our next matchup here, we got Dearborn versus Las Vegas. 2-1-1 team. So one of them's going to get up to 2-1. I'm actually kind of, man, I thought Dearborn was going to be coming out rolling, and then just, like you said, injuries happen, and then drop players that get picked up. They got that empty defense spot. I don't know what they got going on. They're up to something. They're up to something. I figure I'm going to get a text message on Sunday morning like, hey, pick up, blah 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 for me. They're going to do something here. So I don't know about Geno Smith, but then Geno Smith, he do all right. Like I didn't know how he was going to do last week versus the Lions, and he ended up scoring a bunch of points. So I still like Tyreek Hill. I like the matchups that Las Vegas has, but I'm gonna stick with Dearborn here because I just like the Allen, Diggs, and Olave trifecta right there. Sanders, I don't know, but I think just that those top three guys plus he's going to put in a defense here. We're going to see, but I think those three guys will get him through. What do you think?
Yeah, I actually thought that Dearborn was going to make a run at Casey's defense and outbid me for it because they're like one of the top rated defense this week. So that's where I thought they were going to lean towards once they dropped their defense. So we'll see once the waiver goes through, see who bid on who. I highly dislike McLaurin and Najee Harris. I have 0 shares in Najee Harris in everything, including best ball. I just think he looks slow. He doesn't look explosive. Not a big fan. Not a big fan of Vegas this week. I think Allen Diggs get right. I like Tutu Atwater, and really Kyren Williams could be a pickup of the year, and maybe keep Dearborn afloat till Cup gets back, because I mean that could be huge gain if Cup puts up, was it Paku numbers? That's like a game changer. So I think they're just trying to stay afloat until Cup gets back. So I'm gonna go with Dearborn on this one.
I mean, the thing is, they have to drop somebody to get this defense. And whoever they drop is absolutely pick upable. They're not like they got guys that like there's no really bums, especially in our league. It's like whoever they drop, somebody just could pick up that player. That's why I think they're gonna wait until Sunday because they're afraid of whoever they drop is gonna get picked up. So maybe to see who
I think
drop.
I got an idea who they should. I mean, personally, especially without a IR spot, they got hurt people. So I think it's be someone that's has something red next to their name.
Yeah. Now, Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp's going to be on the market next week. Tune in next.
You're gonna spend 100%. You got $100 bad. You're gonna spend all 100 on Cooper Kupp.
If you only got whoever has $100 is eligible. Everybody else is out. If that were to happen, he's probably like undroppable though on a can't drop list or some shit. Who knows? But let's go to the next matchup here. We got Inktown going against Tennessee.
Who did Trevor pick?
Oh yeah, my bad. Trevor picked Dearborn actually. Yeah, Trevor went with Dearborn. So we got Inktown versus Tennessee in a get right game right here. Somebody's getting off the schneid this week. Close matchup too, man. Tennessee played me hard last week, man. I thought they were gonna pull that game off, man. I was like, oh, I'm up against it right here. I like Hurts. I like the lineup. I mean, it's kind of surprising that they're 0-2. I mean, but when you go against the Cobras, what you expect, But um, I'm gonna take Tennessee on this one. They've actually been playing good. It just seems like they just been going up against teams that scored a bunch of points. I don't know what they're. I think whoever they played week one scored a bunch of points too. So I think they're just going up against teams on a high week. So I think they're gonna get off the schneid this week. What do you think?
Hmm. Yeah, there's a few things on Easter I'm not too happy with. I mean, you don't know what Joe Burrow's status is going to be. He re-aggravated his calf, and that's been Chase has been not what you spend a top four pick on lately. And I'm not a big fan of Deshaun Watson. I've said that from week one. I don't think he looks like the Houston Watson. Maybe needs a couple massages to get him in.
He might have to be
Um,
now though.
I'm
I was gonna say
What's that?
they might have to change their whole game plan because of Chubb getting hurt. They might actually have to throw the ball more to win games now. So
Well, it could
could
be.
go
I
either
mean,
way.
but there, you, you can't really do that in 1 week.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
When your whole offense is based on running and establishing that, and Bijan versus Detroit. I know as Lions fans, we're used to having other players have career games against us, and this could be one of those. And Brandon Ayuk may not play either. Um, it's tough on both. I think it's going to be hard fought. I'm going to lean towards Tennessee. It's also close projected 1.5 ish. As of now, we'll see what happens. Who he has to replace. Ayuk, if he doesn't go, could be tough. Could be a little bit closer then. So I'm going to lean towards Tennessee in a close game.
All right. So and Trevor took Tennessee also. So the next
I
matchup.
also want to note that I'm like one of the most. I think I'm like 3-12 at picking. So if I pick you to win, it's probably better for the other team right now too.
Yeah, I said we actually need to go back and check the records just to keep a little
Man,
running.
I was like 1-6 the first week. I did a little bit better last week, but I would have picked against me last week after Thursday night.
So our next matchup here, we got the Roos versus the Crenels. Neither one of these
Mm.
guys can comment on who they think is going to win. Trevor's not here. Gino can't say anything, so I'll still say what I think and then just get some insight from you guys. Well, I think this is probably the game of the week to at least to me. I think the score is closer than what is saying right now. Um, so I'll start with the Crenels. Justin Fields, I don't know, man. Like I personally just think they're using the guy wrong. I don't know if he's built to be dropping back in the pocket trying to do all of that. I think you got to kind of use him how they were using him. He was kind of running RPOs off stuff bootlegs and stuff like that. It's kind of seemed where he seemed to be better at. So maybe they attack it this differently this week. But like you just said, I don't know if you can just change a game plan in a week, but I feel like Fields is really the difference here to me. I mean, you see it next to Mahomes. I mean, and this is a direct matchup too, so it's kind of like I think obviously Kansas City wins this game. I don't even know what the spread is. It's got to be like 8-9, something like that. I don't know, but I think that's really the difference. But he's got a sneaky little lineup, man. He's been making little moves here and there. Forward, we don't know now because of Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt's back in the picture now. I'm going to take the Rules. I feel like the Rules got the more solid matchup, even though I don't know about Madison. Madison's been, I don't know, obviously you're talking about you need running back help. So there's that, but I'm going to take the Rules. So I'm going to go to what Trevor had to say. And this is a quote. Quote me on this. The Canals are going to send the Rules down your The Cornells are going to send the Roos down Know Your Road Boulevard and lay the smack down on your Rudy Poo candy ass with the rock. He's letting you know what's up. So If you got a response to that, I'd
Uh,
like to hear it.
yeah, I mean, I feel like I need to turn the TV off. Like Trevor might be a little sleepy. Late at night when that one show comes on, and it's time to go to bed because his entire lineup looks like the MASH unit. Like there should be a chopper flying in, and those lame jokes, and Trevor comes out wearing like a wig and a bra, trying to get out of the Vietnam War, because you have free agency and rookies up and down his lineup. I'm not a big fan of Fields. I said that from week one as well. The dude can't read defenses whatsoever. He's missing wide open targets. I think maybe AJ Brown, he was kind of yelling at Hurts last week, so maybe the squeaky wheel gets the ball. I'm a huge Devontae Smith fan. In all honesty, I was debating between Devontae Smith and Keenan Allen in the third round. I went with Allen just because I believe in the offense a little bit more, and I think he's the Chargers' number one. I don't think Smith is the Eagles' number one, but I love them both. And, they both had monster weeks last week. Um, I got a lot of questionable people on my injury side. I got Montgomery, Waddle, Watson, Tony. I mean, can I have a mash unit out there next week? Maybe we'll see. But I'm rolling with Kansas City. I'm rolling with Kelsey and Mahomes, and we're gonna hand Houston, who's a very suspect 2-0, very suspect. Benicio del Toro, very suspect. 2-0, their first loss.
And there you have it, guys. We're going on to our next matchup. Hell, Michigan. We're taking on here. Ridgemont, Rejects. Uh Hell's 2-0, man. Rolling right along with a solid lineup, solid matchups this week. There's nothing really bad I can say. I really didn't like Mike Evans because he burned me last year, but now all of a sudden he's Baker Mayfield's go-to, like straight up go-to. So
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden he's back to being Mike Evans again, So I mean, I think, yeah, man. I really like what they got going on. Ridgemont, I mean, Stafford can still swing it. Adams is probably his best pick. He's been solid, man. The Gus bus, we were kind of killing the Gus bus a little bit, but Gus is scoring touchdowns, So uh I still like Hill to win this when they go 3-0. But Ridgemont, I don't think they're out of it with this lineup. So they could win it, but yeah, I'm sticking with Hill.
Yeah, a couple things. I mean, injuries kind of play a part, even if they're not on your team. If St. Brown's out, what does Jared Goff do?
Mhm.
If Ayuk's out, what does Kittle do? So, I mean, there's a lot of things kind of going on. Ridgemont, they have a good floor. I mean, they have a very high floor. So Stafford, Adams, Hopkins, Henry, they just need people to go, have that high ceiling games. And they haven't had that yet. When they do, I think they'll get some wins. However, think hell with CMC, and the way Mike Evans is playing, they're probably going to have to score a lot to keep up with Philly. Um, I think James Cook gets into the end zone. I'm going to lean towards and believe in CMC, even though I think the Giants have a really goofy stat, like no one scored, no running back has had 100 yards and a touchdown in a year and a half or something against them. It's something really weird. I heard on the radio something really obscure. But if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be CMC. It's a short week. And we'll see coming out of Thursday. We'll know out of Thursday if Ridgemont has a chance or not.
And Trevor has
I'm
Ridgemont.
gonna lean towards Hell.
Hell, going with Hill. Trevor has Ridgemont in a big
Mm-hmm.
upset. That's what he says with the big upset of the week. And our next matchup,
Good, definitely could.
mm-hmm, and we got Shelby versus the Munchers. Shelby, I'm kind of shocked they're 0-2. No pun intended, but I'm actually kind of shocked at this one. Yeah, man. Cousins, I mean, he's been doing his thing. People been kind of writing him off a little bit, but at least in fantasy part. I'm just talking fantasy. So fantasy's been looking great. Jefferson, Higgins. I mean, again, I'm looking at this team and I'm like, man, they're 0-2, man. So, but again, I didn't see the scores of who they played against. Maybe it was a high scoring game. I don't know. Sammy's got a solid lineup. I mean, obviously, St. Brown is obviously what this is going to come down to. Um, Everybody's just got question marks and cues and stuff on their lineups, man. Oh man, it's a tough one to call here. I guess I'm just going to go off of everybody plays because I don't obviously if St. Brown doesn't play, it kind of changes the whole lineup. But I think if everybody plays, I think Beaver Creek wins, and I think it's because of Tua. I don't know. Tua's been touring, but Cousins has been going hard too. But I think that's going to be the difference. I like Tua versus Denver this week, so I'm going with Beaver Creek.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Shelby, and I know we had some fun with the Washington Redskins defense for $26. They just have a lot of people that are underperforming, or they have key components of those people that are underperforming, like Higgins and Joe Burrow. Kyle Pitts has just been dreadful. And I think he has that Cousins and Jefferson stack. I don't think that stays a stack for long. I think Cousins gets traded to the Jets soon.
Why
You
you get
know,
it from your sources out there?
I don't know. It just seems like there's no way New York can throw with Wilson, and there's no other quarterbacks out there. You can't just go get Jameson Winston and say, all right, that's going to be someone that we can believe in. I think Cousins, I think, is on the last year of his contract. I think they read him, and they probably give up a couple first round picks, for him, or a first or a third or something, because they need immediate help. I saw something where Sauce Gardner deleted his account. Garrett Wilson's talking. You need someone that can throw the ball in New York. And I just think that's going to happen. But anyways, back to this. Um, I'm going to lean towards Shelby on this. I just think that Cousins and Jefferson's is too much. I don't like Fields. I love DJ Moore, but don't like Fields. I think it's pretty close. But I'm going to lean towards Lockett. I'm going to lean towards Jefferson Cousins. They're going to have to throw the ball against the Chargers. They have to put up points. So I'm going to kind of believe in that. I'm going to lean towards Shelby in a very close matchup.
And let's see who Trevor got here. Ooh. Did he leave one off? Oh no, he took the Munchers. He got the Munchers on this one. And we're going to go to our last lineup. Last matchup. We got 7 minutes left. We got the Napalms versus Stay Strap. I think for Stay Strap, I mean, Prescott's been going hard. He got the Dallas defense. That they're like the highest scoring team in fantasy football, highest scoring player in football right now. And rest of his lineup solid down the line. Dude, like the Prescott, Pollard, Godwin. When Godwin's playing, he does his thing. He's solid. Napalms, man, gonna need a big week out of Jahmyr Gibbs. I just don't know if they're ready for this. I don't know if they're ready for this matchup right here, or just I think the Dallas versus Arizona. I mean, I feel like you just circled out when they might score 30 points this week. So, and then he's got a Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown's been really nice, man. Kind of quietly, something to talk about in Arizona. Bright spot. Yeah, I'm going with the ASAP.
Yeah, I definitely think ASAP is gonna take this, especially if Burrow doesn't play. There's no backup quarterback on Rochester's team, and the ones that are out there like Mac Jones. I mean, you can't really be a believer in that. Um, I think ASAP has a very sneaky team. You don't even have Jonathan Taylor yet, and Goddard hasn't done shit yet. So I mean, We laughed at the Michael Thomas pick, obviously, but
Yeah,
he's not doing too bad. He's
not doing bad.
serviceable, and yeah. So I mean, he's got players coming off IR, whether they play for Indy or not. JT, maybe he goes to Cleveland or something. You never know what they may do moving forward as well. I think unless Burrow plays and Ridley and Gibbs finally has that first round pick point potential, that Red spent that number 4 pick on or whatever it was, number 5 pick. Unless they go crazy, I think this is ASAP by a mile.
All right, and then see what Trevor got here. Trevor took ASAP to win this one. We got 5 minutes left. I guess we'll call this segment the extra point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really got nothing else to talk about. I do think it's interesting you talking about Cousins maybe going to New York because I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know who's out there, like who's at home right now ready to play quarterback. I mean, I guess
Matt
better than Zach
Ryan, Philip
Wilson.
Rivers, Matt Ryan was horrible.
I'd probably take him over
Fitzpatrick,
Wilson.
former Jet.
I take him over Wilson too,
He's doing
probably.
commercials now.
Yeah, I probably take him over Wilson right now. Like, can you play this
Yeah, I
Sunday?
mean, you can't. Wilson's for sure not ready. I mean, it's fairly obvious he can't throw the ball. He's not reading defenses. Um, I mean, who can you make a trade for? Cousins makes the most sense. Trey Lance has already been traded, and who knows where he's going to be. He can't. He hasn't shown he can throw the ball either. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Cousins does make a lot of sense. If they had Mike White right now, I mean, they performed very well last year with Mike White. I don't know why they let him go. I can understand why they did bringing in Rodgers, but
Yeah,
in best ball, I got tons of Mike White. Once Tua goes down, because he's going to, I think he's going to be really good for Miami. So, um, I'll tell you what, this league is really difficult because of the short bench. I mean, having 5 spots and we're 2 weeks away from bye weeks, there's gonna be a lot of injuries. There's a lot of stuff that's gonna
gonna be a
be
lot of
very
movement.
stressful.
A lot of
Yeah,
movement.
it's definitely interesting. I mean, you don't want to be 0-2, those 0-2 teams. If you fall again, you gotta start looking at your lineup and really start thinking like, how can I turn this thing around? Because you did that like 2 years ago. You were like 0-4 or something really, really
I was
crazy, and you end
on
up making a
six.
push and making a run.
I was
Yeah,
0-6, and then I went 6-1. I lost in the last week. I won 6 straight games, and I lost that
yeah.
last week and missed the playoffs. So I mean, yeah, anything
So
can
I mean,
it can happen.
yeah, I did that in I think the Orsetti. I was like 1-6 or something too, and I went like made some huge trades, like traded like Kelsey and like someone else, and ended up making a little run. So I mean, you got to be committed. You got to have a game plan, and you definitely can't ignore your team if you start off 0-3. You know,
Yeah.
uh, not saying make any shocking moves, but you definitely need to have some convictions on where you want to take your team, and maybe you just look to see what you can do next year and get some keepers. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what the Jets do, man. They could call up the Lions. We got one of the best backups in the league, I think. If you were gonna start naming off guys, I like Bridgewater. And Bridgewater our backup. He's
Mm-hmm.
I like him more than Zach Wilson. I'm just saying when you're talking about who you
But
got.
then who's Detroit's backup?
I mean, I'm just saying
Because
if
you
you
know
were
what's
the
going to
Jets,
happen.
would
They're going
you
to trade Bridgewater.
yeah, if you're the Jets, would you I mean, if I'm the Jets, I'm calling pretty much everybody, like anybody that has a backup that was a starter at some point, you got to at least get them on the phone. So I bet the Lions probably got a call
Yeah.
or two
I
about
mean, I don't know too
Bridgewater.
many.
And about the guys on the street,
I'm
there is
trying to think of
nobody.
who else is.
You gonna call Cam Newton or somebody?
I
Like,
mean,
there's nobody on the street that you could call.
can't do that. Like I said, Matt Ryan, Philip Rivers, Tom Brady's already taking questions. He didn't really answer it. And
Like
his
Tom,
ownership hasn't been approved yet, too. So theoretically, he can until it does. So, but that offensive line is so horrible. There's no way you can put Brady back there,
back
man.
there, yeah, yeah, it's gonna be tough. I mean,
So, I mean, I think it's Kirk Cousins or bust for him.
yeah,
So we'll see. I mean, especially with Green Bay's playing. I mean, Green Bay and Detroit's tough. I mean, maybe Minnesota just looks at another week or two and says, we're going to cash this Cousins chip in, and get as much draft capital as we can, and make a run at, especially the Jets, because if they continue not to do well, that could be a very high pick. Minnesota doesn't well, that's a high pick. So now you're sitting on maybe 2 top 10 picks. You can go get one of those young quarterbacks.
Yeah. Well, that's it for us. We on to the last couple of seconds. Legends League Weekly. Kyle, Gino, for Trevor too. We see you guys. Good luck this week. Peace out.
Peace out. Go Lions.
Go Lions. Roar. Go Blue too.
Mm-hmm.
All right.